Okay, hi, this is Verson Bola, hail Carib-Sport, and another report on the TTPFL. The topic today is impropriety in TNT football and sport in general. Apologies for the last video. The sound was a bit low for the first 2.5 minutes. Mic should be a little better. Well, no mic today. Look at that. Sound is fantastic. Well, here, cut and thing. All right, so let's talk. What I want to talk about is the April 11th, game cancellation between AC Port of Spain and Central FC. To summarize, AC Port of Spain players said they hadn't been paid. They went on strike, didn't show up for the match. They have therefore been 3 points have been awarded to their rivals, and life goes on, and that seems kind of normal. Except this is TNT football, and we don't know what normal is. Well, it turns out that the president, Karen Edwards, owns Central FC, Central Reboot, or whatever they call themselves these days, and one of the executive members of the TTFA, Ryan Nunes, is the owner of AC Port of Spain. And there's a bit of a disagreement. Mr. Nunes says basically, look, the money was paid late. It's supposed to be sent to the players. When I contacted them, they said the money had been sent to my business account. I didn't know it was there, so I sent the money out. He never said that the money arrived late at his business account. He is saying that the president of the TTFA, Mr. Edwards, should not have any say in this particular matter, as his team is Central FC and they get in the 3 points, and it should be arbitrated by a neutral committee. Okay, and Mr. Edwards is saying, look, money was sent, everything is fine. The problem is on their end. It's an internal problem. It's very easy to know if money was sent late or not. And the question, if it was sent on time, is this man, Mr. Nunes, culpable for not knowing it was sent to his business account when it wasn't supposed to be? And again, some neutral committee could decide that. I mean, it's not a hard thing to do, especially to find out when the money was sent. Okay. The question I want to ask, really, is what did RC Torre do in there in the first place? Why are you on the board of the TTFA? Why do we have two club owners on the board of the TTFA? You're in a situation which is happening right now where you possibly have to compromise yourselves. You know, the history of TNT sport, especially football, is one of impropriety, a lack of transparency, nepotism, and Lord knows what the hell else words you want to use. I want to stick on football. I want to try to be succinct, because if you go into the detail of TNT football and nonsense and bobble, you need a 2-hour HBO documentary. Let us start over the last 45 odd years, which is basically half a century, all right? Your boy Jack Warner, the highlights, 1989, sold out 2 stadiums for 1 game. Overbooked the stadiums by about at least 10,000 people per stadium. Oversold tickets that didn't exist. Got advertising revenue, got concessions, and says he made no money. Then he had to resign. He became a technical advisor to the TTFA. We go around the rules and continue to run football. He then ran a club called Joe Public. They say his son owned it. We know who the owner is. It was Jack Warner. Even Oliver Camps admitted it to me. And he was continuing to run TNT football. He had a situation around the early ones, roughly 20-25 years ago, where FIFA sent some money for a Haiti earthquake fund, and the Haitians said they didn't get any money from Warner. You had a video where post 2000, a guy from the Middle East was running to be FIFA president. Warner wanted to support him, and it's on video saying, the man sent me this money, and I'm encouraging all my CFU members to take the money. Well, of course, the moment Warner went against, Sepp Blatter, he was dealt with. But the Trinidad and Tobago government didn't do much about that. He had his son for the 2006 World Cup, Darian Warner, selling illegally World Cup merchandise for Trinidad and Tobago, which he shouldn't have done because his dad was FIFA vice president. Well, he was penalized a million TT, but if they sold 15 or 20 million TT in merchandise, does that million TT really do anything? And of course, if I'm wrong, tell us how much you sell, because it would be nice to know. And of course, Jack Warner, the vice president of FIFA, he didn't know his son was selling FIFA merchandise regarding Trinidad and Tobago to the tunes of millions of dollars. Jack, what you do this, so boy? And they make you a minister? All right. The World Cup of 2006. A lot of advertising revenue was given. The players went to court to get their fair share. And according to a judge in a court of law, the TTFA books on that matter was science fiction. No action was taken by the TNT government, the fraud squad, the Ministry of Sport, Ministry of Finance, Attorney General, whoever. You have something called the Center of Excellence. It's a nice world-class facility with sleeping quarters and so on. So very much like our home of football today. Was gifted to us by FIFA roughly 20 years ago by the then FIFA president, Havalange, as a gift to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, that sounds real good until 10 years later, Warner says his stadium. Ta-da! Fortunately for us, we have two things, because apparently in Trinidad and Tobago, we can't do nothing right. The white man abroad have to take over. CONCACAF is now taking legal action against Warner to see what's going on with this COC, Center of Excellence. And the FBI, for quite some time, because they were investigating FIFA and made a lot of arrests, really want to have a chat with Jack Warner. Been trying to extricate him from the grasp, the hug of the Republic of TNT unsuccessfully. And Jack Warner is not too eager to go to the United States to be questioned regarding his, perhaps irregular activities with football, TTFA, CONCACAF, FIFA, etc., etc. John Williams, once TTFA president, owner of W Connection. Again, this man owned a club, he owned a construction company, and there were allegations, especially by one of the television companies in Trinidad, where he gave himself contracts and maybe bought extra stuff that didn't exist. He went to court, unfortunately, passed away, and we never know what happened to all that money. While he was still alive, and he lost his FA elections, the incoming body wanted to take a forensic look at the books at the home of football to see what happened under the Williams administration with the expenditures and how that money was spent and who it went to. Well, man, before you could say Brad Apps, the FIFA vice president Infantino, who had supported Williams for his presidency run and vice versa, got rid of the FA. Or Trinidad and Tobago football is not well run. Well, the fellas were only in office for about 30 to 40 days. Now you know Trinidad and Tobago football is not well run and got rid of them. Why didn't you do something in the last 40 years? When your partner Williams took over and doubled the TTFA debt from 50 to 100 million, why didn't you do that then? You wanted to support him, but you wanted to punish the fellows who come in after him. Obviously, this was just an effort to get rid of people who were going to investigate an ally of the FIFA president. CONCACAF knew it, CFU knew it, everybody around the world knew it, and they just sat back and watched. Because little Dotish Trinidad doesn't matter. And unfortunately for the poor TTFA at the time, they did not have the money to take the matter to court of arbitration. I believe it's the CSA it's called. Forgive me if I get that wrong. We have endless more situations in Trinidad with boxing and other aspects where it's improper. Okay, so I'll come back to my original point. What the ass is all you doing there? You know, it has been 40, 50 years of impropriety, irregularities in TNT sport, and it hurts the sport. And when it hurts the sport, it frustrates athletes. It discourages investment. And I remember Warner balling that corporate Trinidad never stepped forward. It's not that they didn't want to step forward. They love football. They don't like you. They don't trust you. And, apparently the FBI really like you and wants to talk about your trustworthiness. Why it was like, what do we call it in Trinidad? Rinse and repeat, or wash and repeat, or something. I mean, geez and ages, man. I mean, it's 2025. We're too stupid to get this right. We need the Americans to step forward all the time to help us out. I would like to suggest two things. One, the Ministry of Sport have a mandate for all sporting bodies in terms of what is for transparency and what is considered irregularities. And they will have a committee that will look at each organization and let them know if they're, flouting the rules and so on. And if they're going outside the rules and so on, they can take disciplinary action. For as much, I guess, I don't know how autonomous the other bodies are, but at least ban them from funds, ban them from government funds, because this has to stop. All right. What was happening with Warner was ridiculous, and this went on for decades. Then we had Williams, and we have these fellas. When will it stop? And the fellas who come after them will say, well, why can't we, have a club and do this? Everybody else was doing it, right? It would also be nice for the TTFA to change their manifesto, their regulations, and do it right. Don't allow people to be in this position to compromise themselves. So football can be well run. Well run means what? People have confidence in you. I do not know if the Trinidad and Tobago government has such regulations. I doubt it, because it doesn't look like it's working. And I don't expect the TTFA to do this, because they seem to like it, so it benefits certain individuals. It would be great if they were not doing their job terrible thing to have to say, but government should cut off funds. Cut off funds. The sad part is there are some people who will watch a sport or anything going to the ground for the sake of their ego and their ends, whatever they want to get done, and such is the case. So I am asking the TTFA. I can't command anything as a fan, as a taxpayer, as a citizen. Please, don't compromise yourself like this. Have proper regulations, like any entity should, so we can stop compromising ourselves, stop looking stupid. You might say, well, have they done anything? That is not the point. They should not be in a position where they can compromise that. That's friggin' common sense. And if you ask me if they've done anything, if we ever see them do anything, you're a damn ass. And they shouldn't be in sport. I'll give you a situation many decades ago. In Singapore, a minister from holiday came off the plane with a businessman. He was arrested immediately. Corruption. He said, but I didn't do anything. They say it's not a matter of doing anything. You're a minister, you're on holiday with a businessman, a major businessman, manufacturer. It looks like corruption. So you're getting arrested. The message was given to the public that no nonsense would be tolerated at all. Now that situation in Singapore was very extreme. But my point being, these people should not be put in a position to compromise themselves. You can see what's going on right now is ruction. And if you had a neutral member making decisions whether or not you agreed with it, at least you'd know the person is neutral. Sport administration in Trinidad and Tobago will never be perfect. The avoidance of nepotism and bubble will never be perfect. But at least we can make an effort to mitigate the matter, not maintain it and propagate it. So again, I ask the TTFA to do the right thing. My name is Harrison Bolai. This is Hail Carib-Sport. God bless the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. God bless football. God bless the TTFL. And if you like, click like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you for listening.